You know him for hit after hit, business ventures. I mean, we all know who Diddy is, but this time it's a different kind of spotlight, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a deep dive into accusations, and man, there are a lot of violence, really serious, potentially criminal behavior,
Yeah.
and honestly, this could change how we see Diddy forever. I gotta say, the number of these accusations, how serious they are, that's what really grabbed me. So, September 16th this year, Diddy's arrested. The charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force. And this is heavy, transportation for purposes of
Yeah.
prostitution. You just don't see charges like this every day, and definitely not against someone like Diddy.
Right. It's what's wild is this potential pattern of behavior, right? Not just isolated incidents. That's what makes this different.
That's where the racketeering comes in,
Yeah.
right? Makes you think mob movies, serious stuff.
Exactly. It's usually, organized crime. Prosecutors are saying Diddy's this criminal mastermind
Yeah.
using his power, his money to make these horrible things happen.
Yeah, they're saying they found evidence to back it up.
That's right. And it's a lot. Guns, ammo, even, get this, over 1,000 bottles of lubricant in his homes. This wasn't just a mistake. That's what they want to prove. This was a system.
We do have to say, though, Diddy's pleaded not guilty. His lawyers called this whole thing a shakedown, says Diddy's a fighter, he'll clear his name. But right now, he's behind bars. MDC Brooklyn, that's a rough place to be. Denied bail twice. They think he's a flight risk. That tells you how seriously everyone's taking this. And this is just the beginning, really, even before these charges. Diddy was facing all these civil lawsuits, and let me tell you, they paint an even more messed up picture. This whole thing, it really kind of blew up with Cassie Ventura's lawsuit last year, right?
Yeah, and you got to remember, she and Diddy, they were together a long time, so when she talks, people listen.
It wasn't just a couple of incidents she was talking about either, right?
Oh, no, she described it as being trapped, years of abuse, control, over a decade, she said.
And the really big thing was that sex trafficking claim.
Right, that Diddy used his power, his connections, to basically force her into these situations.
And then that security footage came out.
Oh, man, that was something else.
2016, CNN got a hold of it. Seems to show Diddy, well, hitting Ventura.
Yeah, it's rough to watch, honestly, and it definitely makes this whole story even more complicated.
It seemed like that footage changed things, right? Because Diddy apologized publicly, even settled that lawsuit with Ventura.
He did, and yeah, I mean, his lawyers say it wasn't admitting guilt or anything, but it was definitely different. Before that, he was denying everything.
And that seemed to be when everything opened up, right?
Right.
All these other accusers came forward after that.
It did. It's like it gave others the courage to tell their own stories. And I mean, the details are different, but there's this common theme.
That Diddy used his position to pressure women, take advantage.
Exactly. And one of the most, I don't know, I guess disturbing accusations is from Joy Dickerson-Neal.
She says Diddy drugged and raped her back in '91. She was a student then.
And what makes her story even more disturbing, she says he filmed it, the assault, and then shared it, like revenge porn.
Yeah, that's awful. And Diddy's people, they denied it all, right?
Completely. Said it was baseless, just a way to get money from him.
And then you've got Liza Gardner. She says when she was 16, Diddy and Aaron Hall, they got her drunk, forced themselves on her.
And then she says Diddy choked her until she passed out the next day.
Again, Diddy's lawyer denied everything, called it bogus. And we can't forget about Jane Doe.
That's one that really sticks with you.
She's staying anonymous, but she's alleging this gang rape. Diddy, Harve Pierre, who used to be the president of Bad Boy Records, and another guy, we don't know who.
She was only 17, she says, when it happened.
It does make you think about some of these older accusations, right? Like Jane Doe.
Oh, absolutely. Some of these, that wouldn't even be possible without that new law in New York.
The Adult Survivors Act, right?
Yeah, it lets people who were assaulted, even if it was a long time ago, file lawsuits.
It's giving people a chance to maybe finally get some justice that they couldn't before. I mean, you've got this hugely powerful guy in music facing all these accusations, some recent, some going back decades. Really makes you think about power and consent, especially in the music industry, doesn't it? Man, it's a lot to unpack.
Right.
And it's definitely not clear-cut.
It really isn't. And what's so interesting to me is how this whole thing with Diddy, it's like it connects to this bigger conversation we're having as a society.
And we're in the middle of #MeToo, right?
Exactly. Finally starting to really talk about power, abuse, and those industries, music, entertainment. They haven't always been the best with that stuff,
No, definitely not. And that's why this case, it feels different, even if he's never found guilty in a court of law.
For sure. I mean, just the sheer number of these accusations, what they're saying, it makes you question everything, you know?
Yeah, it does. And it makes you think, how do we even start to fix this power imbalance?
Yeah.
How do we make it so people feel safe to speak up?
Such big questions. And what does accountability even look like in a situation like this? I don't know. But it also makes you wonder, what about Diddy's career?
Yeah.
What about his legacy?
Right. I mean, his whole image, its success, influence.
And these accusations, they strike at the heart of that. Sponsors are already backing away. You can't tell me that won't affect his businesses in the long run. I mean,
That's even before we talk about the money, right? The legal fees alone.
oh, astronomical. And if he loses any of these lawsuits, the settlements could be huge.
But I think you're right. The biggest impact might be on Diddy's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
How will people remember him?
That's the thing. Will it be the music, the business, or will it be this?
It's bigger than just one guy, right?
It is. It's like a wake-up call. You know, we got to look at power, fame, how we hold people accountable, especially in music.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, here's what I keep coming back to. Is this it? Is this the thing that changes the music industry for good?
Or does it fade away like all the others? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes you think.
It really does. And on that note, that's it for our deep dive into the serious allegations facing Sean Diddy Combs. Join us next time as we continue to explore the stories shaping our world one deep dive at a time.